Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of my new series. So, the basic idea of this series is that I'm going to be trying to see how many different video games I can complete between July 2023 and July 2024. And the first game we're starting off with, I'm very excited to do this, it is Borderlands 3. Now, I was playing Borderlands 2 recently, sort of off camera, just in my spare time as something to do. I've never played it before, I just saw it on the store and I thought I'd give it a go, and I absolutely loved the game. So much that I decided, I thought I want to experience more games that I'd never played, and also replay games from my childhood and stuff that you can pick up on the PlayStation Store. So the idea for the series just sort of stemmed from there, and I thought, why not record as many different games and me completing them as possible, see how many I can do in a year, and just put the whole thing on YouTube and see, who wants to come along with me on the journey as I play these games. So that's where sort of the basic idea for the series came from, and I thought, as I just finished off playing Borderlands 2, why not jump straight into Borderlands 3 on camera and like I said, take you guys with me. So that was basically where the idea for the series came from. I'm going to try and have a look to get this out, daily, get an episode of multiple games out at once. So I think we're going to start off with Borderlands 3, and I was also thinking that I will jump in with another fun childhood game and, have them sort of concurring at the same time and have, them rotating days and stuff. I think that is probably the best idea for the series, is having, one a day, and then that is where we'll go from there. So keep your eyes peeled for tomorrow's upload, as I'm going to have another video game start coming out tomorrow. So that is something to definitely keep your eyes on. But all in all, I'm really, really excited to be recording this series. I know Borderlands 3 is quite a long game, so I will probably complete game 2 before I complete game 1. But that's the whole part of the journey of these video games, is that some of them are quite long, so it'll be quite a long-winded bit of series. But you can't complain about that if that's what you guys enjoy and it keeps you guys entertained, and that is definitely something that I'll be looking to be doing. So we start off with Borderlands 3. As I said, I love Borderlands 2 so much. I mean, Claptrap, you can see him there. He is somebody that is very, very, he just cracks me up during the game. So one thing that I like about Borderlands is the quirkiness of the game. It's different to your average shooter, and you've got the cartoony aspect and stuff, and it can be really quite humorous at times. So it's definitely something that I enjoy playing, and I'm really going to enjoy playing number 3 as well, I think. And there is also a pre-sequel that I haven't played, so once we complete 3, we could have a look to go back to the pre-sequel and give that a go on camera. So the first mission is called Children of the Vault. This is where we'll be starting. I think mainly I'm going to try and keep sort of to the main story. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys would want to see the side missions, but there is an awful lot of side missions. Like, I'm still completing the Borderlands 2 side missions off camera at the moment, but I think maybe just to try and complete the main stories of video games, because it could be a lot of content that people don't really want to see too much if I'm just constantly doing the side missions as well. Maybe once we've completed the game, we could do a little special episode where I just try and do as many of the side missions as possible, or if there's a side mission I really, really enjoy and it looks like it could be good for content, that could be something that I definitely put out for you guys to watch. But all in all, this series, I'm really excited to do it. Should be really, really good. If you guys have any ideas for any video games that you'd like me to play, then be sure to give me a shout, drop me a comment, and that is something I can look at. As one thing that I'm really excited to do, I'm going to try and complete all the old Lego games and get them all done and on camera as well, because some of those games were just my childhood, and I'm sure they were a lot of people's as well. So that is something we want to go into for definite. But anyway, let's get on with this one. So we get our first gun here. I'm recording this post commentary just for the first episode. I'm gonna go live com for the remainder of the series, and keep it my genuine reaction, because sometimes, when you're just trying to talk over the content, it can be quite difficult. But I do tend to waffle when I'm playing the game, as it will probably be somewhat more entertaining for people watching. But all in all, we will have to see where we go with this series. So this one is Children of the Vault. So we do get our first boss fight in this episode as well. To start the series off, that is exactly how you want to do it. And one thing about Borderlands that I absolutely love is just the amount of little, like, the boxes that you get around the map. They contain cash, they contain ammo and stuff. It gives you that extra sort of like going about and finding stuff to aid you. That is something that is definitely something I enjoy when I'm playing the game. There's also, like I said, with the side missions, the fact that you do have to play some side missions to level your character up before you carry on with the main story. That is something that I also find really, really interesting, that you can't just sort of... I mean, you can just play through the main story, but there's going to be certain levels, if you're not high enough or you haven't got a certain gun, that you are going to struggle with if you just try and do it that way, which is definitely something that I find interesting. So in aspects to what I said earlier about the side missions, I think that could be something that we look at. If there is an important side mission, then I will definitely, definitely do that on camera so you can see how I've progressed during the game. So we do actually get into our first battle of the series here. We've got a few bad guys coming up now. There we go. The new gun here. The guns in Borderlands are just so cool. That's one thing I really, really enjoy about the game. We can only start off with a little basic pistol here, but as I develop through the game, you will see how much fun this game could be. There's one thing that it would be nice to inspire people to play new games that they haven't tried before. If you see me playing the game and you think, this looks really cool, I want to give it a try, I would definitely recommend the Borderlands games to people, because it's something that I myself really, really enjoyed. And I mean, Borderlands 2, I absolutely loved it. I couldn't wait to complete it, and when I did, it was when you get to an end of a game and you think, oh, I'm quite disappointed that I've actually got to the end now, because you're enjoying it, but you get that sense of reward when you complete a game and you think, oh, I'm so glad that I've done this, I've really enjoyed it. And that's one thing I really want for this series, is I want to look back and think I've managed to complete 20 or 30 games throughout a whole year, probably more, I'd like to think, ideally, but to look back on this and think, wow, that was a really good series idea, I really enjoyed making that, regardless of views or anything like that. I just want to make content that I enjoy, and I certainly think this is going to be something that I enjoy, which is why I'm so excited to put this out for you guys. So we're looking at the inventory here. Got a new gun here as well with scope on. You can take out some people with that. So we're just starting off with the basic guns. First mission, I mean, Borderlands 3 already starting off with a much harder first mission than what Borderlands 2 started with. Borderlands 2 was just a really, really easy first mission. But this one had a bit more sort of depth to it. There's a bit more, I feel like the story in Borderlands 3 is probably going to be, a lot better than what 2 was. 2 was very, very good, but you've got a couple more years of development and game development when this one came out, whereas Borderlands 2 was sort of, I think it was early 2011 maybe that it came out. I might just have to double check that, but whereas this one was obviously a couple years later, as games started to obviously get better and better and get developed better and stuff like that. So here we are now, just trying to find out where I had to go here. That's the one thing, is I do like the map aspect in Borderlands, but it was showing me that I had to go over here on the map, but in fact I didn't actually have to go over here. I find out in a second where I have to go. But all in all, the map on Borderlands is something that is very, very useful. It always shows you where you need to go, apart from obviously what I was just saying now. But like I said, with the loot boxes and stuff, you find them all around the map, and instantly I've picked up so much ammo there that I'm good to go again. We'll try and see if we can go throughout the whole game as well with dying as very little as possible. Obviously there'll be certain bits that I'll edit out, if I get stuck somewhere, you guys don't want to see me stuck for ages, because that's just not fun for you guys, watching somebody fail to do something. Whereas if I actually, skip to the bit where I get it done, it is going to be a lot more enjoyable for you guys. I appreciate this episode, it's just me sort of talking at you while I play the game. That's why I think next episode will definitely go with sort of a live commentary to begin to properly, get into the series, because it's more sort of fun, I'd imagine, for you guys, rather than watching somebody this has already been done and I'm kind of just waffling here. I think sort of having me actually, you know, talking as I'm experiencing the game, it's definitely something that's going to be a lot more enjoyable. And here we go, we have the first boss battle of the series. Come up against Shiv, who has brought a knife to a gunfight, and he wasn't difficult at all, because he's obviously, you know, he's only a level 2 boss. It's the first boss of the game. It's always going to be a nice, easy boss to begin with. The critical shots there, they take him out so much quicker than just firing at him. But it's a nice, easy sort of boss fight just to kick it off, and it gives us some nice content for the first episode. He's only got one arm and wielding a machete, so he's definitely an interesting boss. You get that a lot of the Borderlands bad guys sort of revolve around being like psychos and stuff, which is always interesting. But we do end up defeating him here. He keeps charging at me, and all you've got to do is sort of just jump out the way of him, keep shooting him, and there we go, we do beat him, and we level up to level 2, which gives us the action skills unlock, which is the one thing that is another thing about Borderlands. You level up, but you also can get skill points and so on, and badass rank, which gives you sort of like extra. You can unlock extra health and increase your fire rate of your gun and stuff, increase your shield, stuff like that in the game. So there's so many aspects of Borderlands that are really interesting, because it gives you so many sort of, it's not just your standard game. There's so much there for you to do. There's so much there for you to discover and unlock, which is what makes it so enjoyable, because it's not your run-of-the-mill game, you know. It's a game that's got so much to it, which keeps you locked in and keeps you enjoying it. And I'm hoping it does the same for you guys. You know, keeps you guys interested in the series and seeing where we go with Borderlands. But this does bring us roughly to the end of this mission. As you can see here, I'm just finishing up looting, and then we will get to the end of the mission here. We release Claptrap. We have to jump down and revive him after he was hooked up to that giant magnet. He's one of them characters that always somehow ends up in trouble. So there we go, we revive Claptrap, and then he will begin to do his usual waffling at you, coming out with some sort of random shites that he comes out with. And he brings us on to meeting Lilith, who was a character that was so good from Borderlands 2. And you can see here she comes, dropping down from the sky, bang, there she is. She's somebody, the characters in Borderlands are so well developed, and they're so interesting. It keeps you locked in. I mean, she's the Firehawk, I believe, and obviously you see Commander of the Chrisman Raiders. That is something that if you've played Borderlands 2, you'd understand. But obviously the story is important, but you can start this series watching from Borderlands 3 without having to know too much about Borderlands 2. So it's not like you need to know everything about the game to actually, you know, understand it and not have to, you know, you can start watching this series.
Nora's a dangerous place. A grenade mod will come in handy.
Actually, you know, have a real in-depth knowledge of the game. So there we go, we do complete the first mission of Borderlands 3 and the first episode here coming to an end. It's really excited to get into this series. I hope it's something you guys can get behind and can enjoy. And yeah, like I said, I should have the second game that we'll be beginning with out tomorrow. And yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The second one's going to be a nice old childhood game that we all loved. So be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.